What up, everybody? It's your man, damednydc. Two mics up. Back again Monday night, brand new episode. And look, tonight we just going to keep it real. We're going to keep it a buck. We're going to take it to the streets, man. And when I say the streets, I'm talking about fashion. I'm talking about some real, grown and sexy, next level fashion. But it's not going to be your ordinary fashion conversation because tonight's guest, man, I had the pleasure of seeing this brother and meeting this brother at the Virginia Black Business Expo that just passed here in August of 2022. And I can't even lie, blown away watching him do his thing. And he really is kind of, not to say my favorite, but for old head that came up back in the day, they called it husky. To see what the energy he's bringing and what he's working towards, man, I had to reach out and really get him to come sit down and rock with us tonight. And, we've been able to make that happen. So without further ado, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to bring tonight's guest here, to the stage. It's my brother, DeShawn Pennix. DeShawn, what's happening, man? How you doing this evening, man?
What's up? I'm doing good.
Good, man. So look, I'm just going to jump into it. Like I say, I'm familiar, not necessarily with big and tall, but I'm familiar with husky. And I want to know first and foremost, who is DeShawn Pennix? And more importantly, like give us some background about yourself, man. Like, coming up where you from and all that good stuff, man.
All right. So I'm from Lynchburg, Virginia. 2-time graduate from Norfolk State University. So behold, yeah. And I'm the owner of 100 Brawn, which is a brand, a streetwear brand that's for the big guy from sizes extra large to 5XL.
Man, look, so I like he was just real cool with it, y'all. 2-time grad. So I mean, right now you just open up like first of all, I'm not even gonna say why. I'm gonna say how, right? And what did you major in, man? And because I got to feel that this lead into where you are now with 100 Brawn.
So actually, I would say yeah. So in undergrad, I majored in entrepreneurship. I actually had a clothing brand while I was in college, so I kind of learned some of the things from having the clothing brand then when I was in undergrad. And then I got my master's from there as well in clinical social work.
Man, bro. Okay, so this is what I say. This is what I love. We're bringing, especially when I have another brother on the show. Because our mainstream media never shows anything like this. And I wanted to take that moment because not one time but 2 times, fashion was part of it, but social work and helping others is really important. And it's intriguing to me. Those two tied together. What would you say then now? Looking where, like you said, you had your original brand or started fashion, but how did that translate? Where was there some pitfalls and things like that made you have to step back or restart? Or was that just like the first blueprint to 100 Brawn to where it is today?
So the first brand, I felt like it really it did well for what it was at the time. I feel like it really didn't have no direction. It was my first time in terms of like actually stepping out in entrepreneurship and trying to make things work and stuff like that. And I was going to school with other people who were doing similar things, or we were all trying to figure out what entrepreneurship looked like for us. So, a lot of us that were doing the same thing in terms of clothing, that part of, what we were doing then kind of fell off. And then eventually, just sitting on the thought of having a clothing brand, eventually 100 Brawn just came into the play, and then it was more organized, more thought out, and then here we are today.
Man. So that's awesome. So I want to also jump back. So the night that I saw this gentleman, this young brother, get up and do his thing, man, at the expo. So it was a whole live pitch contest. It was you and several other amazing contestants as well. Do not want to diminish anything. It was great to see that. But I have to ask, like, the way you came to the joint, man, like you stepped out, and again, and this is no pun intended, but you stepped out big, loud, and proud. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I got this. But I'm curious to know, like, have you ever had to do that before, or have you ever been in a position to have an opportunity like that before, or what? Like, what played in your mind, like, while you was doing the whole pitch contest, man, while you was there on stage?
Um, so it's my first time doing a pitch contest. But I have a network of people who have done pitch contests before, and they definitely gave me some pointers before then. I did some research, just studying like, what actually goes into like a business pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And then, just familiarize myself like with my brand and, my numbers, the things that we were doing, with my brand and stuff like that. And then just kind of like let that flow within the pitch. And then I got on stage. I was nervous, but I was like, what? It is what it is. I'm about to tell these people about my brand, and then we just gonna hope for the best.
Look, man, I tell you, mate, this brother came through. He was sharp. He was, like I said, suited and booted, and just the air of confidence. Like I said, nobody, watching, no one would be able to tell or could tell from my perspective that there was any nerves or anything. And you walked up there, man. You were confident. You answered the questions. I personally, I think you killed it because you were very precise in answering the questions, the information and the data that you gave about your brand and about yourself. I think you nailed it. And if I remember correctly, the judges even said it like you killed it within the time limit. Uh, you was right there, man. Like plenty of time left. And just really listening to them, those are some things that you really have to maintain and manage when you're in a business situation. And I'm curious to know, even from that, walking away from that experience, what is the biggest takeaway, or what was the biggest takeaway from you, other than the check, which is huge, and we're gonna get into that. But what was that? What was the takeaway? Biggest takeaway for you in that moment or from that night?
So truly understanding like what an actual business pitch is about, right?
Mm,
So, in business, people's time is very valuable. So like
mm,
you got to get in and get out. And I've always been the type of person that's fairly quick when it comes to, expressing myself. I don't like for things to be stretched out. So actually doing the pitch was very easy for me because I didn't want to be on stage already. So I was like, all right, let me just get up there and tell them what's going on and get out the way. So, when you're doing the pitch, you got to go straight to the head when you're talking about your business.
you did that night, man. I mean, you definitely nailed it. And speaking of which, and I'm not going to get into the take home prize or whatever, but with that, what are your plans, or what is your and this is really a two-part question. Uh, what are you going to be able to do with the funds? What are you looking to do with the funds, and how does that maybe play into your overarching maybe mission and vision for 100 Brawn, moving forward?
So, with the funds, I plan on just, kind of taking a leap of faith when it comes to advertising. Right now I've done everything organic for my brand, so I kind of want to step into like paid advertisement, and then I also want to try like new manufacturers, kind of like get new samples in, and just test new products out with
Mm.
my target audience.
Now, you mentioned something. So like those of us who are fashion illiterate and who are not really understanding some of the daily operations, like how do you go about, maybe when you talk about manufacturers and different things like that, um, how do you go about maybe choosing, a manufacturer, and really what does that entail? Like what might that look like to one of someone like myself, who really has no idea what goes into playing into creation of your brand.
Gotcha. So it goes into like just testing different people. So you might come across like 2 to 3 people that you might actually like. So you will want to create like a tech pack, which is like an instruction manual of how you would want your garment to be constructed. And then you would, pay for samples for these 3 manufacturers, have them send it to you, and then you just judge them based off the quality and how well they can follow directions from
Hmm.
your tech pack.
Yeah. See, again, I would have no knowledge of how that, I mean, I would, again, not to be simple minded. I grew up in New York. We just go to Chinatown. You want your fabric, you just go in there with no tech pack. It's like, oh, that looks good, that type of thing. And it's interesting too, because then it makes me really want to ask, because you've kind of entered into a marketplace, and if I'm, and tell me if I'm not correct, but it's extremely really a saturated market. So what are some of the challenges then that maybe you had to face, starting your brand or even running your brand, with athletics, especially athletic, man, I can't get it right, athletic wear, today.
So, I mean, when it comes to like clothing brands and like streetwear and things like that, it's very important that you differentiate yourself from everybody else because everybody has a clothing brand. So I realized that one of my insecurities was an untapped market when it comes to clothing. So I decided to go that route and then make a streetwear brand that's specifically for the bigger guy.
It's interesting that you say that. Insecurities. You know, we as a society and a culture, really make it very difficult, um, for big and tall men. And we tend to, and I want to say it was something that you said, uh, when you went into the store, something about dressing you like somebody's uncle, right? And you know, talk a little bit more about that, because I think if someone is watching this and can really understand, how you've really been able to really put yourself, I guess, if you would say, at the forefront, and really turn that insecure feeling or things that maybe have happened to you in your life into a positive. Because if somebody's watching this, I really want them to walk away with the positive. Like, how did you really drill down and hone down on making that a positive for yourself and for your business?
Gotcha. So, first things first, I'm a firm believer that you can't really progress in life until you fully accept yourself, you love yourself and, just what, even if it's not like where you want to be at that current moment, but just make sure like you're just okay with like yourself. And then from there, you can be able to do anything that you want to do. So, knowing that I had those issues not finding clothing that I like, or if I wasn't comfortable with the way I looked, I try to make the best out of my situation. You know what I mean? So, because regardless of however I look, I still need to love myself in order to get to the place to where I need to be. So, yeah, that's pretty much how that came about.
Man, that's awesome. And like I said, my biggest thing is if one person can hear what you just said and walk away knowing that they too can have some self worth and some self value, and that it's okay to turn your insecurities into a strength. I think we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. Using our platform, and I thank you for taking a moment to kind of peel back the layers on yourself. Sometimes the hardest things in life to do are kind of unveiling ourselves. Because sometimes you're going to get that hurt, that pain. But I appreciate you taking a few minutes to do that. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and step away, take a quick pause for the cause. I want to go ahead and shout out our sponsors here at Two Mics Up, and we will be right back after the break. What up, everybody? It's your man Dame the NYDC. Two mics up. We back out the break. You can see we sitting here talking to my man DeShawn Pennix, CEO of 100 Brawn, the dopest new big and tall men's fashion line that's out here, that's ready for you to go out. Ladies, you got a big and tall man sitting home on the couch next to you. Get your credit card, man. Go ahead and buy him a gift. Christmas is around the corner. Show him some love. And brothers, look, if you're watching this here and you've been struggling, because I can tell you right now, Deshaun, when I get off here, I got two friends. I got one brother, he's 6'9", and he be struggling. And I'm gonna tell him, I'm gonna make sure he go out, man, and buy some of your stuff because he be struggling to find some clothes. So this right here is the perfect time, and you the perfect person with the perfect outwear, for a brother his size. And before we got into the break, we talked about some of your challenges. But how do you really feel? And I'm really curious to know, because it's got to be an ongoing creative type thing. But how do you maybe see yourself moving forward, changing the game or continuing to evolve in the game, to keep your brand, at the forefront?
Got you. Well, with my brand, like I hope to just become a household name. I hope to be in, one of the largest big and tall retailers, space. Maybe get into DXL one day, and just being that go-to streetwear brand for the bigger guys. So that's ultimately my goal.
So in your designs, right? Because I peep some of the stuff. So do you do all of the creative designs? Are you so you're the mastermind behind all this? So then what is it that kind of kicks or ticks off that creative energy for you to create your designs and the looks that you come up with?
So it could be like the seasons. It could be pretty much anything. So like our latest drop, which is like the big boy fall drop. So it was totally designed based upon like the fall. So we only use like colors that's associated with the fall, like down to the photo shoot. Like everything was pretty much had a theme behind it. For that specific drop, that was the thought process behind that. But like music, colors, just anything, events from the past. It could be pretty much anything.
So I love that because that's a true creator. Because me, I can't draw to save my life. I was the kid that was putting stick figures together in a little book, and you flip it real fast like it was a comic book or whatever. Yeah, that's about all of my creative talents go. But what were you always like that? From a child, always creating something or always into something. And your mom or dad always said, "Boy, get out of that. Boy, put that down." Like, have you always been, that child or that kid?
Yeah, I would like to think so. I think that I was trained to be like a creative, but also like a critical thinker as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely helped out a lot when it comes to entrepreneurship.
So then too, you talk about entrepreneurship, right? And what I'm curious to know as a young man and a young entrepreneur, what has your journey been as an entrepreneur? Like, what has it meant to you? And two part really, what has it meant to you? And if you have someone, another young man or young woman come to you, asking you for input or guidance, like what could you share? What would you be able to share with them?
Um, you know, I would say like I would tell people a lot of people get like discouraged from like entrepreneurship or some people feel like it's not for them. But I feel like you as a person is a business, right? So me as DeShawn, I would consider myself DeShawn a business. Like I gotta manage myself. Like I got to go to the doctor, I got to go to work, I got to do things to maintain DeShawn's life. So I feel like if a lot of people look at it from that perspective, I feel like they won't be too scared to do like entrepreneurship. But I will also say like solve a problem. Like I don't care like what it is or how small you may think it is, but if you can solve a problem or
Mm,
like make somebody's life easier or anything like that, like in terms of entrepreneurship, I would tell somebody to do it.
man, I mean, very poignant words, man. Like very old soul, like you've been here before, because that is very true. And I mean, and I mean that seriously. Like, the mentality and the attitude um that you exude and that you're sharing, it really needs to be heard. And I think sometimes, and I've said this before here on the show, my age group, sometimes we could take time to learn something from your generation, our future leaders, because you guys have tools and technologies and things that we don't have. But you all are very smart, very in tune, and that's very poignant in what you're saying. Solve a problem, to make things easier for others. And my generation, you guys need to listen to what our future leaders and our current leaders are saying. Man, that was very poignant. That sits with me. I'm going to take that one with me. That means a lot. Uh, so fast forward then. You know, you're heavy in social media, and I want you to go ahead and talk about that for a minute because um, you kind of exploded in one area through your social media, and how has that been for you and for the brand?
So it's funny how you just said like, from your generation you can learn from us. Well, I blew up on TikTok, and the TikTok realm is not my generation, right? So I come from, the MySpace, Facebook, and Instagram era. So
Right, right,
TikTok is like with the younger ones, the dancing and carrying on and things like that.
right.
So, um, I stumbled across TikTok and I saw it, and I was just like, I don't know what this is, but I'm just gonna try it out. I watched the younger crowd,
Mm.
like how they were interacting with the content and stuff like that. And then I took what I was doing and merged it with that, and then I was able to like go viral like 7 times. So
Wow,
and then amassed like a following over like 190,000 followers.
wow. I mean, not. I don't want to say just, but like it's just it's mind boggling. Like you said, 7 times, and just that
More
quick.
depending on who you ask, but I say seven.
Okay, okay. So do you still plan on using social media to continue bringing on what you're bringing, to continue to expand your brand?
Yeah, I think social media is like it's here to stay. Whether it's the current platforms or new ones coming in the future, I definitely think social media is here to stay. So I definitely feel like that will always be a part of my marketing plan.
I love it, man. So look, you've done a good job from my perspective, and what you've built so far. I think the sky, the moon, the stars is just really not even your ceiling. That's your floor, just something else greater and beyond. So I want to wish you continued success. And as we're coming around to close out, I will be remiss one. I want to be able to make sure that like I said, ladies and fellas, get your pens out because I'm going to pause. I'm going to stretch this one for a second. Get your pens out. Take down this information, and when he gives you the website, you go check it out. Go out support because this right here is something that is another thing that's overlooked in our community. We like to, Jones on those who are big and tall, or those who, like he so eloquently said earlier, dressed like an uncle. Man, his brother's changing the game. So, DeShawn, before we close out, take a minute, man, and go ahead and share, your social media and information so our audience can go ahead and go out and support you, my brother.
Gotcha. So you can check out our website at www.100brawn.com. You can also follow us on all social media platforms at 100brawn. We're very active on Instagram and TikTok, so please just make sure you follow us there, interact with us. We all family over there, so just pull up.
Y'all heard it here. Don't be faking. Go ahead, man. Pull up. This brother right here, he's a game changer, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna be the first one to say y'all saw him here doing what he does, man. I love his smile. I love his energy. If you guys get a chance to, meet him, man, he's one of the kindest gentlemen that you can ever meet. True inspiration. DeShawn, thank you so much, my brother, for taking time out of your schedule to sit here with me tonight, man. It's been awesome talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nothing but man, this is your home too. Like you said, it's all love here. Anytime you want to come back, anything new, just let us know, man. We'll go ahead and have you jump on, and we'll do it. We'll do it again and again and again. All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Another episode. It's not even a hidden gem no more. You got to go out and support the king. Buy the brand, support it. Tell your friends, your family. 100 Brawn, DeShawn Pennix, CEO, making it happen. As far as two mics up go, yeah, we still rocking. Season 4 is going to continue on. You can go ahead and make sure you follow us now. We are now on Mogul TV. You got it on your Amazon and Roku device. The Moguls Network, the Moguls Global Network. Check them out. Or you can go ahead and hit us up online at themoguls.tv. Catch all the latest episodes from me here at Two Mics Up. And as we close out, how we like to do at this time. You can follow us online, www.2micsup.com, across all our social media, IG, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at 2 Mics Up. And if you're still watching this on YouTube, before you go, make sure you go down and you hit that bell so you can be notified by all the newest content coming to you from me at 2 Mics Up. Give us a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you like it or not. And like we always do, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, stay safe, stay blessed. Mike's out.
007.